Gurnam Singh, Jathedar Sahib Ji. Gurnam Singh's village, Madhyala, is adjacent to Sant Ji's village, Bariar. It is situated on the Mehta Shri Hargobindpur road. His father, Bhai Dalip Singh, was a devout religious man ever since his childhood. Some of his details have already been discussed in this book. Gurnam Singh came in contact with Sant Ji due to his father and later enjoyed his blissful company. After passing of his matriculation 10th standard examination, he joined engineering college in Phagwada to pursue his diploma in civil engineering. He got a job in Himachal Pradesh after the completion of his studies. His father expired after some time and his brothers were quite young at that time. He, being the eldest, had to resign his job to fulfill his family responsibilities. After some time, he again got a job in the PWD department, BNR, in Beas subdivision in district Amritsar. He kept serving in his department for quite some time. In his early days, due to his studies, he could not enjoy Sant Ji's companionship regularly. But later, luck favored him and he remained associated with Sant Ji for quite a long time. He would always be ready to serve the Sangat. He often would travel with Sant Ji to far-off places on his motorcycle and enjoyed his company and was immensely benefited by his enlightened spiritual talks. Now he is popularly called as Jathedar Ji by the Sangat. This title of Jathedar was also conferred on him by Sant Ji himself. In the area around village Bariar, whenever Sant Ji used to go for religious programs, invariably he would always accompany him on his motorcycle. Thoughts of Shri Ghanshyam Srivastava, originally handwritten in Hindi, now being translated into English. Only by God's divine will, saints and great souls come on this earth. The land where they are born becomes sacred, and all those people who come in their contact also become sacred. Saints come on this earth for serving the mankind selflessly. They, by their enlightened vision and sermons, spread the message of eternal power of God and its importance for mankind before they leave this world. The people who transform themselves under their influence become winners in their lives. They escape the deadly cycle of life and death. Saints always keep pursuing one mission, that is how to salvage everyone's life. Amongst the long chain of saints, Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale was one such enlightened soul. In search of job, I, with my family, came to Bhilai from Delhi on 26 October 1958. I got one job in the telecommunication department on 28 October. I started living in a rented house of Sardar Budh Singh in the area of Durg and Santra Barhi. One day while on duty, I met with a well-built and healthy Sardar Ji. On the very first meeting, I was quite impressed by his loving behavior and soft-spokenness. We got introduced by knowing each other's names. This meeting was so soulful that we became two bodies with one common soul. At that time, Sardar Kartar Singh Ji was residing with Sardar Kapur Singh in village Amdi Patta. One day he said, "Srivastava Ji, why do you live in Durg in a rented house? Why don't you come here to Amdi Patta? Daily there used to be satsang in the evening time." He asked me to come to the satsang. From that day onwards, I started attending the satsang on daily basis. In the satsang, I would carefully listen to the thoughts and deliberations of Sant Ji. One day I saw that Sant Ji was sitting in a deep meditational state in the satsang. I felt as if his divine figure has entered in my body and I got spiritually attached with him. Giani Ji was able to understand my spiritual and mental condition. After he came out of his meditational trance, he started discussing with me on the subject of God. I kept enjoying the spiritual discussion and I was overawed with that discussion. Then this became a daily routine to discuss about God at home as well as during lunch break while on duty. I was lucky enough that I was working with Giani ji in the same department. He would partake his lunch with me and it would be followed by spiritual discussion. You know what? Whenever both of us would be together, there would be spiritual ecstasy, and to add to this blissful experience, there would be satsang in the evening time at Amdipatta. As far as I remember, in 1959, tubular quarters got ready in Sector 2 on road number 15. Under the supervision of Sardar Kapur Singh, all the satsangi families and their belongings were shifted to Sector number 2 on trucks. One complete line of quarters was occupied by all of them. When I came home from my job, I found that my family was also shifted to quarter number 15F, and they were quite happy. Gianiji's quarter was just a few quarters away from that of mine. Here the satsangat was started in a very comfortable atmosphere. After completing his spiritual discourse in the satsangat, Gianiji would often ask me to speak for a while. In the beginning, I was quite hesitant to talk on spiritual matters. But sooner than later, I started feeling as if some divine force would enter into my body and would enable me to speak with great enthusiasm. Thereafter, a never-ending and continuous stream of spiritual thoughts would keep flowing in my mind. It was nothing but a miracle in itself. That divine force enabled me to always remain engrossed in the memory of God. Eventually, I became unaware of my family and all the worldly attachments. By seeing me in this condition, quite often my wife would get enraged, but I was not able to forget God's name from my memory even for a minute. Jagan mein sovan kare, sovan mein liv laye, surat door lagi rahe, tar toot na jaye. To sleep while you're still awake, and in that sleep you are continuously attached to his memory. One wishes that this condition of continuous attachment might never ever break. My sleep was gone, and so was the awareness about day and night. I would remain in continuous memory of God and recitation of His holy name. It was immaterial for me whether it was night or day. The spiritual power which I got during that process, I used that to study the religious text of Sanatana religion, and I was immensely benefited. I was quite astonished when I was able to remember by heart all the 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita, and that too in a span of 10 days' time. Not only this, I was able to remember by heart thousands of slokas of Vedas, Upanishads, and other religious texts, and all those got etched in my memory. The deep meanings of these slokas were automatically becoming clear to me. That state of my mind could not escape from Gianiji's attention. One day after completion of the satsangat, he stayed back at my house for the night. He said, "Let us complement Gurbani Shabads with the shlokas from religious texts." In no time he started singing Gurbani Shabads, and I started singing shlokas in Sanskrit language from religious texts, which were complementing in their meaning with the Shabads. This wonderful exchange of thoughts and discussion continued for almost 2 hours or so. Gianiji was quite pleased with that. After that incident, neither I nor he was able to live peacefully without seeing each other. At satsang, he would always make me sit by his side. If ever I would be late for the satsang, he would always send someone to call me. Sometimes after the satsang, he would keep sitting with some of the satsangis, and thus would ensue discussion about God, which sometimes would continue till wee hours in the morning. Then Gianiji would ask everyone to take some rest. I would often say, "Gianiji, it is very difficult to leave the essence of the discussion of Almighty God." I remained in that state of mind for quite some years. Between 1959 to 1962, I was able to write about 100 songs, bhajans, which I used to sing during satsang, which was being held at Sector 2 Road, C Avenue, in Bhai Pyara Singh Padda's quarter on daily basis. Sant Ji was an embodiment of compassion, mercy, and selfless service to the mankind. He always used to say that in the whole of the world, there is only one religion, and that is the religion of humanity. All other religions like Hinduism, Muslim, Sikhism, or Christianity are different organs of one religion of humanity. All these religions teach you to be good human beings. When a human being would become a true human being, only then, in the true sense of it, he would be able to meditate in the name of God and would be able to achieve oneness with God. Thus, he would become eligible to be a permanent resident in his house, Sachkhand. Whenever a man imbibes the humanitarian values, only then he attains the right to start on the spiritual journey. Guruji proclaims, Manas ki jaat sabha ek hai pehchan bo. Whole humanity is creation of the one God. Aval Allah noor upaya kudrat ke sab bande. Allah created the light, then by His creative power, He made all mortal beings. The true aim of humanity is the need to see the light of God in all living beings. One should desist from backbiting or slandering and should stay aloof in all the situation, may it be of respect or disrespect. Sant Ji was totally devoid of duality. He would always see everyone as a small embodiment of God itself. It can be said that he belonged to everyone and everyone belonged to him. Because of such a pious thought, everyone was equal in his eyes, and he loved everyone equally. This was the only reason that thousands of people of all castes and creeds became his loved ones. He used to say that everyone has the equal right to meditate in the name of God. Caste and creed are no hindrance to do so. Bhagat Kabir Ji pronounced, Jaat paat pooche jan koi, har ko pajai, so har ka hoi. Whosoever meditates on the name of the Lord becomes his beloved one, irrespective of his caste and creed. Sant Ji used to help everyone both in his troubled times and in merry times. An incident which happened with me, I must mention that here. In the month of June in 1959, I was to go for a refresher course for 2 months to Army Signal Training Center in Jabalpur. My wife was almost due for delivery. I was quite worried as to how I would be able to go in that situation. Sant Ji told me to go to Jabalpur without any tension. He took all the responsibility upon himself and deputed Sardar Sher Singh for this job. Just after 2-3 days when I left, a baby girl was born to my wife. Not only that, he immediately called his wife from Punjab to look after my wife. This is a very distinct example of his extreme loving and affection for others. Whenever a fellow satsangi would encounter some ailment, he himself would go there to help him. Till the time he would not be fully cured, he would keep on inquiring about his well-being and would always encourage him. Accompanied by satsangis, he used to visit the nearby villages to inquire about their well-being and would counsel them for cleanliness, etc. Many a time, we also used to accompany him while going to the nearby villages, and all of us would clean the roads, etc. Such was his humility and devotion for the service of mankind. He was instrumental in deciding the future aim of my life. I'm going to quote a very strange incident. One fine day, he offered me a small book in English titled Thus Spoke Swami Vivekananda, and told me to read the book very carefully and thoughtfully. I took it as a commandment for me, and perhaps it was a signal for me to attach with Ramakrishna mission in future. That small booklet totally transformed my life. Holy verses of Swami Vivekananda stirred a continuous flow of spiritual thoughts in my mind and body. I started having a continuous urge to know more and more about it. Slowly but surely, I got very deeply attached with Ramakrishna mission, as a result of which I was able to establish an institute in the name of Shri Ramakrishna Seva Mandal on a piece of land donated by the Bhilai Steel Plant Management in 1970 at Sector 7, Road number 5. Creation of Shri Ramakrishna Seva Mandal became instrumental in transforming many people's lives, and thereafter they were able to lead better and reformed lives. Today I am a prominent member of Shri Ramakrishna Mission, which has spread all over the world. Sant Kartar Singh Ji was far-sighted visionary, and he always knew about the past, present and future, Teen Kaal. He was fully capable of transforming lives of his companions. Bowing my head in reverence at his holy feet, I now end my narration. This is the only obituary I can pay to him. Note: Srivastava Ji left for his heavenly abode a few years ago. Srivastava Ji was a colleague of Papa Ji in Bhilai steel plant. He had great respect for the Sangat. Whenever Srivastava Ji was allowed to express his views in the Sangat, he would usually explain shlokas of Gita and would dwell in great detail about them. One day, Baba Padda Ji asked Sant Ji, "Why do you give him time to speak, as none of his discourses are worth listening to?" Sant Ji replied, "Why do you listen to that?" Padda Ji said, "When you allow him to speak, then how could it be possible for us not to listen?" Papa Ji told him that whatsoever you have been asked to do, you just do that. That is, keep reciting the Guru Mantra continuously. That was how he would not hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time, he would not get distracted from his aim of not listening to anything other than Guru Mantra, Vaheguru, that is Naam. Bhai Kapur Singh Ji, Wale. In 1958, after leaving the military job, Sant Ji came back home. Soon after, he got a job in Bhilai steel plant, Madhya Pradesh. He joined his duty at Durg. The steel plant was quite far off from that place, so he thought of finding some suitable place near the plant itself. Somebody told him that village Amdipatta was quite close to the plant. These days, a big hospital has been constructed in Sector 9 at that place. He was also told that there was a hotel of Sardar Kapur Singh, who happened to be from Punjab. Sant Ji, after inquiring, reached Kapur Singh's hotel and asked him for accommodation. Kapur Singh allowed him to stay in the hotel corridor, and his luggage was placed in the corridor itself. Before going to his job, Sant Ji would take his food etc. from hotel itself. After returning from the job, he would take his bath and would sit for meditation. Often he would keep sitting for hours together. Kapur Singh's own lifestyle was not very orderly. He was a die-hard drunkard with many associated bad habits. He would pick up quarrel with everyone on some petty issues. In a nutshell, it can be said that he was having every possible bad habit. Though Sant Ji never talked to him much, still Sant Ji's presence started influencing him. One day he dared to ask Sant Ji that how come he was able to sit at one place for hours together, while he, Kapur Singh, cannot sit even for 5 minutes at one place. Sant Ji just told him that he was nobody to sit like that. It was only the supreme power which keeps him sitting. Kapur Singh was totally perplexed and was unable to understand that who was that power, which was enabling Sant Ji to sit for long hours. On one of the Sundays, Sant Ji asked Kapur Singh if ever he had gone to Gurdwara Sahib. Kapur Singh said that he had never gone to any of the Gurdwaras and asked a counter question to Sant Ji if ever he had consumed alcohol. Sant Ji simply said no. Kapur Singh suggested that he should try it once and see for himself how enjoyable it was. Sant Ji told him that if ever he would offer him, then only he would drink. But Kapur Singh could never gather the courage to do that. Somehow, Sant Ji made Kapur Singh ready to accompany him to Gurdwara Sahib. They started walking to go to Gurdwara at Durg, which was almost 2.5 kilometers away from that place. There were no roads at that time, only small earthen pedestrian walkways used to be there. They were going on one such walkway. On the way, Sant Ji just caught hold of Kapur Singh's arm. The moment Sant Ji caught his arm, he felt some vibrations in his body and felt as if a great flash of light had entered inside his body. He felt as if somebody had pulled him out from a deep pit of filth, and he felt quite calmed down. He was feeling as if all his sins were leaving his body one after the other, and he would just fall down. Overwhelmed by that feeling, very humbly he requested Sant Ji to keep on holding his arm forever. Sant Ji told him that it was the inherent nature of the Sangat that it does not leave anybody's hand after holding it once. Enjoying that feeling of ecstasy, he along with Sant Ji reached Gurdwara Sahib where Kirtan was going on. The hymn singer was telling about the life of Bhai Palha Ji. Kapur Singh enjoyed every bit of that discourse. He felt like holding the feet of that hymn singer, but somehow kept sitting. On the completion of the Kirtan, Kapur Singh just moved towards the hymn singer but was stopped by Papa Ji, and he told him to be attached with the Kirtan only and not the hymn singer. After the program, they came back home. Kapur Singh expressed his desire that they too should start satsang at his hotel. He would spread a cloth on the rooftop of the hotel, and Sant Ji used to read for him from various books and from the Atam Science magazine, which were lying with Sant Ji. Now, in spite of being in the hotel business, Kapur Singh's life was being influenced by the presence of Sant Ji. One day it so happened that Kapur Singh felt as if he was being driven by some hidden force towards Sant Ji. Someone just dragged him and made him sit in front of Sant Ji. Tears were continuously rolling down his cheeks. As if a tape recorder was switched on, he started telling all his acts of omission and commission. He was totally unaware for how long he continued enumerating his misdeeds. Then Sant Ji placed his hand on Kapur Singh's mouth and told him to stop. Thereafter, he was not able to speak anything, but tears kept continuously rolling down his cheeks. Sant Ji just asked him, "How many sins you think you have committed?" Kapur Singh answered, "Throughout my life I have committed nothing but sins, so it is not possible for me to count them all." Sant Ji asked, "Will 2 ships be enough to contain all your sins?" Kapur Singh said, "Even 4 ships will fall short to contain all those acts which I have committed in my life." Sant Ji said, "Can you imagine the forgiving power of Guru Nanak Dev Ji? He is just like an ocean in which countless ships can perish." Kapur Singh felt as if he was being pardoned of all his sins. After that incident, Kapur Singh was just like a bumblebee, Paura, who always remains around the flowers. Similarly, he would always remain around Papa Ji. Kapur Singh's children also started loving Sant Ji too much. One day Sant Ji told them that he wanted to move to some other place, but the whole family started insisting that they won't allow him to go anywhere. Compelled by all of them, Sant Ji agreed to stay, but on a condition that he would eat according to his own menu, and he would do any kind of job which they asked him to do. Many a times it would so happen that Kapur Singh would go to watch a movie, and Sant Ji used to run his hotel, where liquor and meat were also being served routinely. With Sant Ji's blessings, Kapur Singh left his hotel business when Sant Ji told him that it does not behove a Sikh to run such a business. By this time, Kapur Singh was completely under the influence of Sant Ji. He immediately told his brother to sell off his hotel and declared that he would never go there. He didn't think even for a second as to how he would be able to earn his bread and butter to cater to his family. As time passed, Sant Ji succeeded in extracting a promise from Kapur Singh to leave his drinking habit forever. After some time, Kapur Singh came back to his ancestral village Munda Pind in Punjab near Taran, adjacent to Jambarai. After meeting his various relatives, one fine day he went to meet his in-laws. All of them were well aware of his nature, that he was quite fond of drinking liquor. They somewhat pressured him and he consumed liquor. There in Bhilai, Sant Ji asked his younger brother to take a pen and write on the wall whatsoever he would ask him to write. Sant Ji told him to write the date of the day. Then he told him to write the name of the village of Kapur Singh's in-laws. Then he told him to write the time and the number of persons present there. Astonishingly, Pal Singh asked Sant Ji that what exactly was the purpose of writing all that on the wall. Then Sant Ji told him that Kapur Singh had consumed liquor. Everyone was surprised that Kapur Singh had gone to Punjab. Then how come Sant Ji was able to tell all those details sitting there in Bhilai? We ignorant people can never come to know about the fact that a true sadhu is always the knower of all the three times, that is past, present and future, and of all the places. Everyone was just awestruck. When Kapur Singh came back and he was asked about it, he just denied that he had taken any liquor. Then he was shown the writing on the wall, which Sant Ji had dictated them to write on the day of the incident. He was taken aback. He understood the fact that nothing could be concealed from Sant Ji. In the evening, when Sant Ji came home, Kapur Singh wept like a child in remorse and begged his pardon. He promised with Papaji that he would never ever do that again. By regularly attending satsang and practicing meditation with Sant Ji, Sadhguruji blessed him with the concentration of his mind so much so that he could visualize the occult worlds and was blessed with continuous meditation of Naam. Slowly the head count in the Sangat started increasing. Some devotees thought of buying an old car, which could be used as a taxi during daytime and would be used to ferry the devotees to their respective houses after the satsang during night. This way it would only be a facility for the devotees, but it would also provide them with the chance to serve the Sangat. After thorough discussion amongst few of them, the idea was placed before the Sangat. Everyone liked the idea and immediately started contributing money to buy the car. Out of sheer love and devotion of the Sangat, a few of the females even took off their gold ornaments and gave them as a contribution. When all the details were shared with Sant Ji, he just kept quiet. He told Pyara Singh not to sell the ornaments and suggested to keep them with someone in exchange for money. He said that time might come when these ornaments might have to be returned back. A second-hand ambassador car was purchased. Whenever that car was taken to any of the places, it would invariably develop some fault. They were incurring continuous expenditure on its repair, etc. In despair, some people requested Sant Ji that they had actually committed a mistake by buying that car. They asked Sant Ji to help them to dispose that off. The whole Sangat was in a deep despair and sought forgiveness by bowing before Sant Ji. Sant Ji kept smiling and said, "Only Naam should be begged in the Sangat, and there is no need for anything else." He told them to keep patience and assured that it would be sold at a higher price. Once the car was sold, all those females who donated their ornaments in enthusiasm started demanding them back. A few responsible people from amongst the Sangat managed to procure the ornaments back and return them to their respective owners. As the quarters where Sangat was being held were not very spacious, it was difficult to maintain due respect of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Thus, to avoid any disrespect, Sangat used to be held without the presence of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Now Sangat started discussing this issue amongst themselves, and Sant Ji was requested to fulfill their desire of holding the Sangat in the holy presence of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. There lived a Sindhi family in Bhilai, who had already expressed their wish that they had 2 Swarups, copies of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in their house, and if need be, they were ready to offer one to the Sangat. So Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji was brought from their house and was installed in the house of Bhai Singh Ji. In all, there were only 3 or 4 families of the Sindhis who were living in Bhilai. They had only one son in all their families. He suddenly expired, putting all the families in deep despair and grief. Many of them started saying that because they departed with Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, perhaps that was the reason that such a big tragedy happened in their families. One day that boy's father came to Pyara Singh's house. Sant Ji embraced him in his arms that made him feel quite calmed down. He requested Sant Ji to hold a religious congregation, satsang, in his house, so as to make the family members able to bear the shock. Accordingly, a program was fixed. After the completion of the program, Sant Ji just asked the family to demand anything they wanted from the house of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji through the Sangat. The family wished to have another son in their house. Sant Ji asked them to perform ardas in the lotus feet of Guruji. After some time, with the blessings of Guruji, the family was blessed with the son, and the whole family was overjoyed and was relieved of their grief and sorrow. The Sindhi families hold the Sangat in very high esteem and call themselves as devout Sikhs of Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. By this time, Bhai Kapur Singh had attained a very high spiritual level. This could happen only because of regularly attending the Sangat and continuous meditation. Moreover, he was also blessed by Sant Ji. Quite often, Bhai Kapur Singh would say, "Nobody should try to imitate me because a sadhu is always showering his blessings on me. I am nobody who could be able to achieve anything." Second thing which he would often repeat was that his spiritual achievement was nothing but was as per the popular quote that jackals enjoy the kill of a lion. After some time, an order was received to vacate the whole place because there was a plan to build a hospital in that area. As an alternative arrangement, planned authorities made some residential quarters and everyone occupied a quarter, wherever one could lay his hands on. Similarly, Kapur Singh also occupied one such quarter for Sant Ji and all his belongings were shifted there. Nowadays, Sector 2 has been developed in that area. Now every night there would be satsang in one house or the other. Sant Ji would deliberate in detail on one of the paudis, stanzas of Shri Sukhmani Sahib Ji. It used to always be very informative and soul-stirring discourse. He would discuss only those particular lines of Gurbani which he himself had experienced. Last rites of Bapu Amar Singh Ji were performed by Sant Ji himself. Bapu Amar Singh was the father of Bhai Kapur Singh and the resident of village Munda Pind. He always acknowledged Biji, Sant Ji's wife, as his daughter. They often used to meet each other. They had great mutual respect and loved each other dearly. Once he came to Bariar village and Sant Ji asked him to wish anything he wanted to have. Though his Bapuji's financial condition was not very sound, still he didn't wish any materialistic thing. Rather, he requested Sant Ji that he had only one wish in his mind, that he, Sant Ji, himself would perform his last rites. When Bapuji expired, Bhai Kirpal Singh, Pal Singh, came to inform Bibi Swaran Kaur. She told him that Sant Ji had already disclosed that to her, and she had already readied his, Sant Ji's clothes and shoes, etc. Meeting with Bhai Atma Singh of Bhilai Nagar. After leaving his hotel business, Bhai Kapur Singh joined the duty of a driver in Bhilai steel plant. Bhai Atma Singh was one of the administrators of the Gurdwara of Camp Number 2, where Sant Ji and Kapur Singh used to go together. Most of the times it was Atma Singh alone who would not only be looking after all the arrangements, but would also recite daily prayers, Nitnem, all by himself. He was able to read Gurbani in spite of the fact that he had very little formal education. He developed interest in Guruji's service ever since his childhood. Papaji's lifestyle being that of an ordinary family man, it was hard to imagine for anyone, just by looking at him, that he was a saint of the highest order. So routinely both of them would go to the Gurdwara and after attending the Sangat would come back. Bhai Kapur Singh quite often would invite Bhai Atma Singh to come to their place to listen to religious discourses. But because of the impression of Bhai Kapur Singh's previous life, which was known to everyone, his pleading to Atma Singh to come to their place to listen to the discourses had very little impact on him. He just used to ignore that. Rather, he would always think that how come a man embroiled in every type of bad company could have any interest in Gurbani? One day a program was going on in the Gurdwara and suddenly strong winds started blowing. The tin rooftop of the Gurdwara was blown away, putting whole of the Sangat in great difficulty. Hurriedly Guru Granth Sahib Ji had to be shifted to somebody's house. Gurdwara's whole administration was in despair and was thinking what could be done and how. Fact was that employees in those days were paid very meager salaries, so it was very difficult to lay down the rooftop again. When all that was shared with Bhai Kapur Singh, he told them to come to Sector 2 and promised them that he would arrange tin sheets from some of the contractors. As suggested of Bhai Kapur Singh, Bhai Atma Singh reached Sector 2. Sangat program was already going on. Sant Ji started his discourse on Gurbani. In those days, very few people used to come in Sangat and their discussions used to continue for hours together. On that day also, it continued until early in the morning, and Bhai Atma Singh kept sitting all throughout the night listening to the discourse. Then Sant Ji told all of them to go and take some rest, as that was the time for him to take bath and do his nitnem. Sant Ji just got up and went to take his bath, etc. Bhai Atma Singh said, "Kapur Singh, you alone kept on enjoying all this and never shared anything with me." This way, Atma Singh started coming daily to attend the Sant Ji Sangat. Sant Ji's words used to be so impressive and sweet that no one could resist the urge to come to listen to the discourses time and again. One day it was raining very heavily and strong winds were also blowing. Atma Singh was coming on his bicycle to attend the Sangat. It was becoming difficult for him to drive the bicycle. He had to stop on the way, but he was quite tense in his mind because he was missing the precious time of Sangat. Then, without bothering about strong winds and rain, he started moving. On the other side, Sant Ji told Kapur Singh that Atma Singh was coming and asked him to arrange some dry clothes for him and instructed him to get his wet clothes exchanged with the dry ones as soon as he would reach there. Soon after Atma Singh reached, Kapur Singh took him along and got his wet clothes exchanged with the dry ones. Atma Singh was overawed with the love and affection shown by Sant Ji and his inner vision. In 1958, Sant Ji asked few of his fellow men to start some charity work. In the discussion that ensued, the matter which came to the fore was that in summer season, due to excessive heat, people face extreme difficulty in finding cold drinking water. So it was decided to find a suitable place and started an outlet of cold water. Soon one such outlet was started in the same summer season. Water had to be fetched from quite some distance and was stored in earthen pitchers. They would place the pitcher on sand to keep the water cool. Then whosoever would pass through that road would be served cold water with humility. Passer-by would always bless them for the selfless service. That cold water outlet is still existing and service is being provided in the same manner and with the same zeal and spirit. In no time, the water outlet became quite popular. People would often change their route so as to drink cold water from that outlet before proceeding further on their journey. As a matter of fact, Bhilai Nagar, now in Chhattisgarh, became very hot in summer season, and there was a lot of scarcity of water in those times. Though a lot of development has taken place in that area, but till date, the popularity of that outlet remains as such. There used to be so much consumption of water that one person would continuously keep on exchanging the pitchers and the other one would keep on serving the water. Even then, there used to be long queues. Once Bhai Atma Singh, disclosing his inner feelings before Sant Ji, told him that different kinds of maligned and negative thoughts keep him disturbed all the time and requested him to suggest how he could get rid of those. More or less all of us suffer from these kinds of thoughts, but without attending the Sangat, we hardly ever come to know about our mental status. Sant Ji told him to have complete faith in Satguru Ji and keep reciting Gur Mantra, Vaheguru, by fixing a routine. All these evil thoughts would automatically run away when they would be starved. Sant Ji always used to preach for doing Nitnem, daily prayer, by reciting the following Gurbani couplet. Gur Satgur ka jo Sikh akhaye, so palke ut har naam tyave. One who calls himself a Sikh of the Guru, the true Guru, shall rise in the early morning hours and meditate on the Lord's name. Sant Ji always used to emphasize on reciting the Naam both in the morning and in the evening time as per a fixed routine, for as much time as one could do that. He would often proclaim that Naam is capable of absolving anyone of all his problems. Another person, Bhai Manjinder Singh, who was also employed in the steel plant, used to live in Bhilai, Nagar. He was quite close to Sant Ji, but due to his different point of view on certain matters, he could not establish proper rapport with Sant Ji. He fixed a date for satsang at his house. Everyone reached there in time, but the Ragi Jatha, religious hymn-singing party, didn't reach. It was but natural the whole of the family was quite disturbed. Sant Ji could feel the anxiety in the family and asked Bhai Tanna Singh to play tabla, pair of drums, Bhai Pyara Singh to be on the harmonium, and Bhai Atma Singh to be on the chimta, jingle tongs musical instrument, and told them to sing the kirtan. None of them actually knew how to sing hymns, but as commanded by Sant Ji, they just started singing. It was quite natural that they were not singing in harmony, but somehow they could complete the stipulated time. Later on, they were so blessed that they could perform kirtan for hours without feeling any kind of tiredness. It could happen only because they just abided by the order of a saint. As ordained by Sant Ji and due to regularly attending the Sangat, Bhai Atma Singh started reciting Gur Mantra regularly. Sadhguru Ji was kind enough to bless him with the continuous recitation of Naam in his heart. He would always remain very happy and cheerful. This continuous recitation of Naam would continue automatically all by itself even while he would be attending to his duty. His desire to attend the Sangat, holy company, and to always be with Sant Ji was increasing with every passing day. One day while going to attend his Sangat, he suddenly felt an urge to meet Sant Ji. When he reached at Sant Ji's quarter, Sant Ji was sitting in deep meditation. He just started thinking in his mind that how pleasant that would be if Sant Ji would just open his eyes and look at him. The moment this thought crossed his mind, Sant Ji opened his eyes and again closed them. Bhai Atma Singh was quite pleased in his heart and proceeded for his duty. The recitation of Naam on that particular day was very forceful. During lunchtime, he didn't feel like eating anything. Rather, he just wanted to enjoy the feeling of continuous recitation of Naam. He came back to Sant Ji even before his duty time was over. The moment he reached, Sant Ji asked whether he had completed his duty. He answered that he had come 1.5 hours before the completion of his duty. This routine of coming early from his duty continued for around 3 days. When on the 3rd day he reached, Sant Ji was a bit annoyed and asked, "Don't you claim the pay for the time you do not attend to your duty?" Bhai Ji said that it was difficult for him to resist the desire to see him early, and that was the only reason for his coming early from his duty. Sant Ji just looked at Atma Singh with disdain, and immediately the continuous recitation of Naam stopped. On this great loss of extreme pleasure, Bhai Atma Singh went into remorse. To seek forgiveness, he would daily pray by standing amongst the shoes of the Sangat. He requested Sant Ji that all his pleasure had vanished. Sant Ji told him that it would repeatedly happen whenever he would not attend to his duty properly. Now, Bhai Ji kept praying daily, and he would always promise to do his duty with all his sincerity and not to repeat such a mistake ever in the future. One fine day, Sadhguru Ji was pleased, and Sant Ji looked at him, Atma Singh, mercifully, and the continuous recitation of Naam started immediately in his body. He thanked Sadhguru Ji and Sant Ji in his mind. Then onwards, he performed his duty so diligently that all of his officers were quite pleased with him, and he was awarded with appreciation letters and prizes on various occasions. Sant Ji himself, during his discourses, had taught all his satsangis, holy companions, this particular method of seeking pardon from Guruji, if ever some sinful act was committed by any of them. Bhai Atma Singh Ji used the same method to seek forgiveness. Sant Ji always used to say that Sadguruji is always merciful and we mortals are always forgetful. He used to say that if we seek forgiveness from Guruji with a very clean heart, we would always be benefited. Deceitful and wicked minds can never be benefited, in spite of the fact that coffers of Guruji are always overflowing with forgiveness. In Camp 2 Gurdwara, where Bhai Atma Singh was the president, Bhai Bikram Singh used to recite Kirtan, singing holy hymns, in the Gurdwara. Sant Ji often used to visit that place along with 4 or 5 of his companions. Bhai Bikram Singh hardly knew anything about Sant Ji. Off and on, Bhai Atma Singh used to tell him that Sant Ji decodes Gurbani very finely and would tell him that one Paudi stanza of Shri Sukhmani Sahib Ji was being explained daily, and it was always a very pleasant experience. Bikram Singh would always say that he wanted to stay away from all these sadhus, etc. He would say that he reposed all his faith only and only in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. He would say, if this saint, about whom you often tell me, will be a true saint, then Guru Granth Sahib Ji himself will motivate me to meet him. As a routine, Bhai Bikram Singh was doing Kirtan, reciting holy hymns. Just when he finished, his younger daughter also sang one holy hymn. Sangat rewarded the child with some money, which Bhai Bikram Singh took and put in his own pocket. After the program, Sant Ji asked Bhai Bikram Singh if he always accepts the money given to his daughter. He said yes. Then by embracing Bikram Singh in his arms, Sant Ji told him not to accept that in the future. Time just passed by, and one fine day Bhai Tanna Singh was reciting Kirtan. Bhai Bikram Singh felt an eager desire to meet Sant Ji, but he didn't know Sant Ji's address. The urge was so strong that even a delay of 1 minute seemed to be too long. He straightway went to Atma Singh's house near the Gurdwara and requested him to accompany him to Sant Ji's place. Bhai Atma Singh told him to wait for half an hour or so that he could finish with his breakfast, etc. Bhai Bikram Singh said, I cannot wait even for half a minute. What to call of half an hour? He alone knew the state of his mind. Then he asked Bhai Atma Singh to make him understand the route and said that he himself would go to meet Sant Ji. The moment he rode his bicycle, he felt as if he was just flying in the air. The speed was so fast. The distance, which he normally would travel in 15 to 20 minutes, was completed in 2 minutes or so. His bicycle stopped at one place all of a sudden. He got down and saw that some people were sitting in a sangat. He went inside. The moment he sat down in the sangat, he felt quite calmed down. That feeling cannot be explained in words. It can only be felt and enjoyed. He could feel the presence of a saint of the highest order sitting with his holy companions. It was because of his presence only that he could enjoy that wonderful experience. Sant Ji pleasingly looked at him, and he was enthralled with a very pleasant feeling. Then Sant Ji asked him to recite Gurbani. After that, he along with his family became a regular visitor of Satsangat. Bhai Bikram Singh was blessed with 2 children, one male and one female. Both of them were suffering with whooping cough, Kali Khansi. During satsang, they would keep on coughing continuously, with the result Sangat used to get disturbed. Sant Ji told Bikram Singh that due to the continuous coughing of his children, nobody could hear anything and suggested to get them treated. Bikram Singh told Sant Ji that in spite of all types of treatments, they were not getting cured. He requested Sant Ji to do something because for him, he was the biggest doctor. Sant Ji asked him to take them to Bhai Kapur Singh Ji and requested him to give some medicine to his children. He took the children along and went to Bhai Kapur Singh and requested him to give medicine to his children. Bhai Kapur Singh said, As yet, I'm not capable enough to treat these children. It may take many more years for me to be capable of treating somebody. You go back to your house." The very next day, children again disturbed the Sangat because of their cough. After the Sangat was over, Sant Ji asked him if they had gone to see Kapur Singh. Bikram Singh narrated the whole conversation which happened with Kapur Singh. Next morning, Sant Ji went to Kapur Singh's house and knocked at his door. On seeing Sant Ji early in the morning at his house, Kapur Singh was quite pleased. He asked the purpose of his visit. Sant Ji told him that those children create a lot of disturbance in the satsang and asked him as to why he didn't give them medicine. Bhai Kapur Singh just said that now he would give it. Next day, Bhai Kapur Singh told Bikram Singh that he had got him reprimanded by Sant Ji and asked him to bring his children. When he came with his children to Bhai Kapur Singh, he made them to lie down on his thighs and told Bikram Singh that they have made the children suffer by repeatedly saying same words, that they were suffering from whooping cough, Kali Khansi. He told them not to repeat these words anymore. He told him to take them home as they have been cured. True to his words, the children never had any cough after that day. That little girl child sings the kirtan till these days. The boy, however, has died. Similarly, a third child was born in the house of Bikram Singh, and she was suffering from kwashiorkor, severe protein malnutrition, sokra. A dirty smell used to emanate from her body, and it was so bad that nobody was able to sit by her side. In spite of that, her mother always used to keep her in her lap. Even after trying all types of treatment, she was getting weaker and weaker with every passing day, and no cure was in sight. Bhai Bikram Singh was an individual of his own kind. One day after the satsang, he just held the girl upside down by holding her feet in his hands and brought her in front of Sant Ji and said, "What bad deeds has this creature performed for which she is being made to suffer so much, and that too for such a long time? Not only she, but all of us are suffering along with her. Why can't you cure her?" Sant Ji told him to put her down on the floor and asked him to make her drink hot milk and tea daily, which was being served to the Sangat. He assured him that Sadhguruji would bless her with a cure. Bikram Singh started doing the same thing, and the girl was cured. Now she is having a family of her own. This would be the right place to write another incident that happened with Bikram Singh. He was a mechanic in the steel plant. One day he was performing his duty in the railway shed where trains were being loaded. After taking his lunch, he just laid down under the shadow of a luggage train, just to rest for a while. That train was standing on a dead-end line. Quickly he went into deep sleep. Almost at the same time, an engine was attached to those buggies to carry them away, and the train started moving. Immediately, Sant Ji lifted him and took him away from the railway track. Bikram Singh was able to see just a glimpse of Papaji, and after that, he became invisible. He saw that his turban and bag was still lying on that railway track. Bikram Singh could realize that he was sure to die had Papaji not saved him. He applied half-day leave and made up his mind to meet Papaji right away. Papaji, on the other hand, told Kapur Singh that Bikram Singh was coming and he should be taken care of. The moment Bikram Singh reached there, he started shouting by saying, "You're not just Kartar Singh. Instead of sitting inside all the time, why don't you come out? The whole humanity outside is in great pain. Why don't you take care of all of them?" Kapur Singh just asked him to keep quiet. All this was nothing but the power of Holy Naam, which Papaji kept reciting all through 24 hours. Darshan Singh Ji Nidhan of Bhilai, Nagar. He is a renowned personality of Bhilai, Nagar, and is having a large business empire. The whole family is baptized. They behold the Sangat in very high esteem and regularly attend all the programs of satsang. His wife, Bibi Joginder Kaur Ji, loves the Sangat so dearly that she can never think of living without Sangat. She would always ensure to attend the evening Sangat in time, whatsoever the circumstances might be. I, author, myself once saw her urge to attend the Sangat. It was exactly as if an addict was craving for drugs. The incident is that once she was getting late for the Sangat because of some inevitable circumstances, and as the time was passing by, her restlessness was increasing. Somehow, after making great effort, she managed to reach the Sangat from Raipur at the time of Ardas, supplication. She could not control her tears for long. Her condition cannot be explained in words. The words of Sant Ji were echoing in my ears that to attend to Sangat is one thing, but to get imbibed in the Sangat is entirely another thing. Sant Ji often used to relate this condition to the craving of an addict. As an addict cannot survive without drugs, similarly one who has deep attachment with Sangat would feel same type of pain without Sangat. Only that particular person can explain his condition. Nobody else can ever come to know about his pain and suffering. The onlookers can imagine that condition only up to same extent. This is a spiritual stage which is blessed only by Sadguru Granth Sahib Ji on a few chosen ones. Bhai Darshan Singh Ji one day asked Papa Ji that on one hand Gurbani says, "Ek chit je ek chin te ayo, kaal faas ke beech na ayo." He who meditates upon him with single mind even for an instant, he doth not come within the trap of death. And on the other hand, one is asked to recite Naam every moment. Papa Ji explainingly said, "It is only one shot of the gun or one strike of an arrow which kills the person. But to become an expert for the final shot, you will have to practice for longer times. Untrained person cannot hit the target with a single shot. Similarly, to hit the target in that particular moment, you are asked to recite the Naam continuously." That was how his question was completely redressed by Sant Ji. At another occasion, Bhai Darshan Singh came to Amritsar. At that time, Sant Ji was sick and was staying at my author's house. On seeing the condition of Sant Ji, he felt quite sad in his heart and could not control his tears. He was worried in his mind that because of his over-involvement in his business, etc., he was not devoting as much time to Naam Simran as was required of him. Sant Ji just held his head close to his chest and without speaking even a word, all his sorrows were allayed and asked him not to worry at all. Sant Ji told him, "Sadguru Ji will surely bestow his kind hand upon his head." Bhai Darshan Singh was calmed down. Even today, whenever he remembers those words of Sant Ji, he just bows his head in reverence. Bhai Jatinder Singh Patia of Bhilai, Nagar. Papa Ji used to call Jatinder Singh by his nickname JT. This boy ought to be having some previous connection with Papa Ji. That could only be the reason that Papa Ji used to love him so much ever since his childhood. We have already talked about him in this book. There are a lot of things which can be described about him, but he didn't allow me, author, to write all those incidents. Still, one or two incidents need to be described here so that others could be benefited and could develop more and more love for the Sangat and Sadguruji. During his childhood days, whenever he used to accompany his parents to the Sangat, he often would hear that if one would attend the Sangat passionately, there was nothing which could not be achieved, that is, every wish could be fulfilled. He was appearing in 10+2 exams. He was regularly coming to attend the Sangat, in spite of his parents advising him to focus on his studies until the exams were over. They often would stop him from attending the Sangat. He would always wonder that Papa Ji always says that every wish could be fulfilled by attending the Sangat. Then why did his parents stop him from going there? He took a secret pledge in his heart just to see how Sangat could fulfill every wish. In one of the exams, totally depending upon the Sangat, he just wrote his roll number on the answer sheet and submitted it to the examiner. He did not answer any of the questions to test the capability of the Sangat. It was just a miracle that he got more marks in that test than all other papers which he wrote after special preparation. Sadhguruji was so benevolent that he further cemented his belief for the Sangat. When Papaji was taken to Bhilai for treatment, Jatinder Singh was to appear in BSc exam. In spite of that, he would always remain available in Papaji's service all through 24 hours of the day. Later on, he told that a special radiant glow used to be present on Papaji's face between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning, which would not be seen for the rest of the day. It would really be difficult to look at his face during that period. At night, if Papaji was to attend to his nature's call, Jeti alone used to take him to the washroom. On the contrary, during daytime, it would be difficult even for 4 persons to do so. Papaji had disclosed him very many deep spiritual secrets, but he had been forbidden to disclose them. He always shirks to discuss all those things. Bhai Singh Ji of village Batala, Bariaranwale. Bhai Singh was resident of village Batala near Tilwan in district Kapur. To earn his bread and butter, he had shifted to Tata Nagar. After some time, he got a job in Bhilai steel plant and eventually shifted to Bhilai. He was attached to Guruji ever since his childhood. His family was deeply religious. He would always remain in the search of satsangat. From many religious persons, he had learnt that it is almost impossible for anybody to recognize a true sadhu. In such a situation, it is always better to pray to Sadguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji to make it possible to meet a true sadhu. Then at the right time, Guruji would facilitate one's meeting with a true sadhu. This fact was deeply etched into his mind. So he would routinely recite Gurbani and meditate on the name of God as much as possible, and time thus passed by. Bhai Atma Singh was from the same village as that of Bhai Tanna Singh. He was already coming into the Sangat of Sant Ji. Some of the details of Atma Singh had already been given in this book. Bhai Atma Singh told Bhai Tanna Singh about Sant Ji and asked if he would like to accompany him to the Sangat, religious congregation. Bhai Atma Singh explained to him that it was always a pleasure to listen to the discourses of Sant Ji and told him that he himself would come to know once he would listen. This way, Bhai Tanna Singh also started coming into the Sangat. Another reason of him getting motivated was that he himself was in search of such an opportunity and always kept praying for this in the lotus feet of Sadhguruji. On his first visit, Bhai Tanna Singh came along with his wife. They were the only members of their family, as 2 of their children born in the early years of their marriage had expired. Both of them decided in their hearts that in the Sangat they would not pray for children, rather they would seek to be blessed with Naam only. The moment they reached in the Sangat, their minds were calmed down and they felt an intuitive peace. That ecstatic state of their minds lasted for about 5 to 7 minutes only, which cannot be explained in words. Then onwards, they got permanently hooked to the Sangat and never ever allowed any of the doubts or questions enter in their minds. Sant Ji's sermons used to directly pierce in their hearts and minds like sharp arrows. By that time, the head count in the Sangat had swelled up and the congregations were being held turnwise in different houses. One day, Tanna Singh requested Sant Ji that he too wanted to hold a satsang in his house and wanted to serve them with langar. Eventually, a program was fixed and Sant Ji said that his langar was not separate from that of the Sangat, so there is no need of that. Bhai Tanna Singh requested that it would provide him with an opportunity by virtue of which Bhai Swaran Singh would also eat langar at his house. It is pertinent to mention here that it was very rare when Bhai Swaran Singh would take langar food at anybody's house. Sant Ji fixed the date and time. Whole of the Sangat along with Bhai Swaran Singh came to his house on the fixed date. Bhai Swaran Singh was the same person who took Sant Ji to Ran Sabai Kirtan, whole night Kirtan in Delhi, where Sant Ji was blessed with Samadhi for the first time. Since then, Sant Ji used to hold him in very high esteem and would never refuse him for anything. He used to call Sant Ji by the name of Giani Ji. After the completion of the program, Bhai Swaran Singh said, "Giani Ji, can't you see the described house of Bhai Tanna Singh? When you can bless the Sindhi family with the son, why can't you bless this family?" Sant Ji exclaimed that there is no dearth of anything in Sadhguru's house and asked him to pray in the Sangat for this. Obeying Sant Ji, Sangat prayed before Sadhguruji, and sometime later Bhai Tanna Singh was blessed with 2 children, 1 daughter and 1 son. Both these children are rendering their services in the Sangat by performing Kirtan till these days. End of audiobook, part 2.